Oh man, guys, it's finally here! The Nintendo Switch! Let's open it! What? Is this some kind of joke? It's a baby! What
do I do?
Hey everyone, it's Hammy, and as you may know, the Nintendo Switch is out. I know. So today we're gonna take a look at what's available at launch, what we like, what we don't like. Let's go! Was that good? Was that a good intro?
The first thing we should talk about is probably the console itself. I actually quite enjoy the idea of the console. This is exactly what I wanted the Wii U to be the entire time. But now, that concept appears to be fully realized here with the Switch. You can play it docked on the TV, which is mainly how I've been playing it, and you can play it using the Joy-Cons attached to the unit itself. Which means that this console is portable, and if enough games come out for it that I enjoy, it will probably become my go-to handheld.
Sure, there might not be a whole lot available for it right now, but to discredit it because of what's available versus what the potential here really is would be kind of doing it a disservice. I feel like I can really see the potential of this console, and I'm excited purely because of that potential.
I will say that just even in my own friend group, everyone's gonna have one of these things. It can land games, which means we're all suddenly playing Mario Kart. Or what if they re-release remastered Smash Brothers with all the DLC? Then suddenly we're all playing that without the need of a TV if necessary. But you can also just bring it with you, dock it at someone's house, and go.
I mean, this is definitely the most flexible console we've ever had, and I will say that the promise that comes along with that has me super excited, more so for a console than I've ever been.
So what does it come with? The standard Switch on release comes with 2 Joy-Cons, an HDMI cable, the base, the AC adapter, a controller grip, and the Switch itself.
As you can see, I opted for the neon Joy-Cons because, I don't know, it looked cool. One thing I would like to note that nobody really seems to be mentioning is that there's not one of these. Gone are the sensor bars, gone are the Wiimotes. Farewell. Instead, everything that's going on has to do with the Joy-Cons and the distance between the hub. Which, by the way, these things have a pretty insane battery life. These things can last like 20 hours. I was consistently playing throughout the day as well, and not once did I ever have to stop playing to recharge these things. Also, I have heard that there has been some sync issues with the left Joy-Con specifically, but I haven't had any of those issues myself. I've only heard about them, and that could have to do with the fact that I'm sitting right next to mine.
I did, however, have some problems where the game just wouldn't load. I'd put in the cartridge and nothing would pop up, or even tried loading some of the games where I had the physical card placed inside and it just failed to start. This actually even happened to me on my stream of Bomberman.
You have to do that.
Whoa, I'm getting like an error that won't even load the game now.
Bomberman?
Did you update it, or?
Yeah. Now, I will say that resetting the console did fix the issue, and it's possibly due to the fact that I'm using an Elgato as a pass-through. But it happened. And a quick search online reveals that I might not be the only one having these issues.
But enough about the console. Let's talk about the games.
Now, seeing as this console just came out as of me making this video, there aren't very many games. There's about
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games!
Wait a second. That's the same game!
Gotcha, Nintendo!
Got him. So let's at least take a look at all the new games. But very quickly, just in case, Shovel Knight is great. I've played it, I've beaten it, but there are some new modes where you play as different characters which I haven't played yet. But regardless, the original game is awesome, and if you don't have it or haven't played it yet, definitely pick it up. I am Setsuna. Haven't played it, but it's been on the Steam, it's not new.
Adjust the Danceru 2017!
Yeah, no. Other than the fact that this video will get content ID'd in like 2 seconds, these are pretty much my dancing skills.
First, I wanted to talk about a game that not a lot of people have touched on, let alone made videos of. Snipperclips. This game is only available through Nintendo's eShop, and it's $20 right now. If you got some people to play with, this game is so good. I mean, just look at these cute little faces on these guys. They're just trying to solve puzzles and live their cute little lives. The premise of the game is simple. You can snip your partner into different shapes, and you use those shapes to solve various puzzles. All you can do is move, rotate, jump, revert back and forth between your normal form, and snip other players into various shapes. And I will say, as a couch co-op game, it's so much fun to solve puzzles with someone right next to you. A lot of the time, there's different ways to solve the puzzles too, so you're basically just experimenting until you figure out what the game wants you to do. You start to figure out which shapes work well in certain situations, and most of the time you just kind of eventually figure the puzzles out through trial and error. They start out simple, teaching you the basic mechanics, but as you progress and unlock more levels, the puzzles get more and more challenging. I had an absolute blast playing with my buddy Peebs over on the PB&J Gameplay channel, and we can't honestly wait to play more.
Jump, 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 jump. Dip it in.
I'm trying. No! No! It's heavy! All right,
This has got to be it, yeah.
This is a gimme.
Yes!
Dunk! 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 Yes, yes, yes.
Winky face.
You cut me.
The single player, on the other hand, is...
It's okay. I mean, I guess. It's pretty clear that this game was meant to be played with at least one other friend. In the single player though, you control both of the characters on your own, which actually makes some of the puzzles a lot more difficult than you'd think. So if you have someone to play with, I highly recommend it. It kind of feels like the sleeper hit of the Switch launch so far, so go get it. Fast RMX! Honestly, there's not a ton of things for me to say about this game, but it does kind of remind me of F-Zero if you're into that. It's a fast-paced racing game where you have to grab boost and change to different colors when going over certain parts of the tracks. Think Ikaruga with the gun mechanic, but with cars. Vroom. It has tons of different modes and online play, so if you're looking for something else to go online with your Switch, here it is. I'm not even much of a racing guy myself, and I was having a pretty good time with this one. Really solid. If you're into racing games, it's only 20 bucks on the Nintendo store, so if you're into that stuff, pick it up. Now let's talk about 1-2 Switch.
Honestly, I think this game should be a pack-in.
I feel like this game is what Wii Sports was for the original Wii, except they're making you pay for it. I really don't think the game is worth $50, especially considering how often most people are probably going to play it. And why do I think that? Because it's a party game. Now, I'll probably get my use out of the game considering I have a lot of friends in the area that will probably want to play this game. But honestly, I'm gonna have a hard time recommending this game to most people, especially after the launch window has closed and we have more games to play. This definitely seems like the type of game that's going to get price cut down the road to like $20. Okay, but what about the game itself? It's actually more fun than you'd think. I mean, looking at all these intro videos and commercials for the games you're about to play, and you get kind of like secondhand embarrassed. But when you're actually playing the game, it's surprisingly fun. There's 28 different minigames that you unlock as you play, and most of them are pretty solid. Except Baby.
Why would you play this? He won't stop crying!
Some of my favorites were Quick Draw, the cowboy-themed western one where you shoot at each other.
You ready? Okay, it's looking you in the eye, so I'm doing it. Ah! What happened?
We touched hands.
I won!
What? Oh, come on!
Once you get that one down, you move on to the other version where the guy just doesn't say fire anymore, but a bunch of other words to try and trip you up into shooting too early or too late. Table tennis, which is more about sound and rhythm than anything else. And plate spinning, which has you continually moving your hands trying to balance an imaginary plate. You can also attempt to make the other person's plate fall, and I can see this maybe getting out of hand. The game itself is all about looking each other in the eyes versus at the screen. The screen itself is used mainly as a reference, and the rest of the game is played while you're looking at your friend.
You're gonna need a decent amount of space to play comfortably. Even in my room right here, there would not be enough space. Otherwise, you might run into some weird kind of feedback issues. Maybe that was just me.
So to me, it's a very circumstantial buy. It's not gonna be for everyone, but it is fun. Don't buy it if you play games by yourself, though. Can't confirm, not fun by yourself.
Left player, match point. Left player serve.
Next game!
Super Bomberman R! I don't know what I'm doing. Right out of the gate, I'm gonna tell you this game is worth it if you have friends to play with. Again, it's kind of like a 1-2 switch situation where you're probably not going to like playing this much by yourself. Luckily, there is online for the game, so you can hop into matches and play with friends or with strangers and just play some rounds of Bomberman. And if you like classic style Bomberman, this is your game. I'm not even the biggest Bomberman fan. I think the last one I really played was like Bomberman 64, but I've been having a lot of fun playing this online with friends. Though I am honestly kind of skeptical exactly how long this game will last within my friend circle. I think it'll last a lot longer purely because of the fact that there won't be many online games until Splatoon 2 or ARMS. One of the better things about the game is there's a bunch of different characters to choose from, and you can decorate them with hats that you've bought and spent your coins on. My favorite guy is the yellow guy because look how happy he is.
Put a top hat on him. Ready to go.
I also like the blue guy because he's always tired and that's relatable. The coins kind of bring up a sour topic though,
Because this game's progression/currency system is kind of garbage.
in order to buy hats and levels, you need coins. In order to get coins, you need to beat the single player game or rank up, but ranking up only gives you 100 coins at a time. So the way to get coins is by playing the single player. Except for the fact that whenever you game over in this game, it costs 300 coins to continue. On the default difficulty, I forgot to say that. You only start with about 1,400 coins, too. Pro tip, don't use them on continues, just start over. Or you'll end up in a situation like me, where you get to the last boss of World 2 and have to continue twice, costing you 600 coins and you die right before you were gonna beat him!
I'm dead inside.
Apparently, if you pick the beginner difficulty, it only costs 10 coins to retry, but I'm not really sure how many coins that it gives you when you successfully beat a world. I imagine a lot less than the other difficulties. Also, stuff is freaking expensive. A stage by itself is around 2,400 coins. Not to mention all the hats too, which get progressively more expensive as you unlock more. You get more coins by performing well and gathering as many power-ups as possible throughout the single-player levels. But basically what I'm saying is that you have to play this single player perfectly and amazingly well to even get a good amount of coins.
As someone who is not very good at Bomberman, it's frustrating.
It's not exactly awesome when you have to unlock all this stuff to use in multiplayer as well. I can tell you right now that I doubt most of my friends will unlock the majority of this stuff, just based on the small amount of time I spent playing the game. Even asking some of my friends, we pretty much unanimously agreed that the system was pretty bad. You basically have to be a Bomberman god to get all the coins that you need.
And now, the main event. Zelda
Can't make a video about the Switch launch without talking about Breath of the Wild. Is it worth it? Yeah, it's pretty good. So let's talk about it. What are some things that I really like? First of all, there's practically no hand-holding whatsoever. For the first time in forever, there is no Navi or Fi-type character always interrupting you and telling you what to do. You yourself decide where you want to go and what you want to do. Sans the opening area where you kind of have to get a few things done before you can go out and explore the rest of the world. And I mean, hey, that's cool. I gotta learn what's going on. I gotta learn that I can crush goblins with boulders, okay? Once that's done though, you're pretty much on your own. I mean, you have a quest line that you can do, but the game never really forces you to do it. Also, I'm just saying that maybe you should do it a little bit because you might find some really important discoveries. The game does an amazing job at giving you all the tools that you need to explore and do whatever you want whenever you want. And that's because it gives you access to nearly all of your powers right away. I think my favorite power is the ability to take pictures. Yes, Link, work it, yes, you are sexy. Careful, don't hurt that moneymaker.
But I really don't want to spoil like the story or as much of the game as possible for you guys, so I'll mostly be using my early game footage. Stuff that's really early on, maybe some very minor, like, visual spoilers, maybe?
The first thing you'll probably notice is that the world is insanely big. Like, so big. I mean, it sometimes takes you a couple of hours to get somewhere. Especially if you're really taking your time to like fight stuff or explore around the area, walk around, go into every single shrine you find, or climb up to the tallest place you can find and jump off. Oi! It's massive. Depending on who you're talking to, that might not be a good thing either. This Zelda game pushes exploration more than any other Zelda game ever. It's always getting you to ask questions like, what's this shrine? Or what does this food do if I cook it together? Oh, where does this pathway go? What monster is that? Absolutely everything in this game ties back to exploring. It's also a must. This game is probably one of the hardest Zelda games. And I'm not saying that lightly either. Monsters will straight up one-shot you if you're not prepared. Especially if you wander into a zone you're not meant to be in yet, or you haven't prepared yourself ahead of time. Okay, here we go! This is it! Counter! And in order to not die instantly, you have to progress your character in a bunch of different ways. You can do that by getting more hearts, cooking food to boost Link's stats temporarily, or simply by getting better weapons from practically anywhere. Which is another thing. Combat in this game is unique in the fact that you have to constantly find new weapons from your enemies or in chests. And the reason you have to do that is because your weapons will break constantly.
I will say that one of the things that I maybe don't like about the game is I think the weapons break maybe a little too fast. You're constantly having to go into your inventory and switch out for new weapons and pick up new weapons all the time because they're always breaking. If you get into like a combat scenario, like against a tough opponent, you might have to go into your inventory like excess of like 6+ times just to like heal, equip a new shield, equip a new weapon. It kind of takes you out of like the engagement if like everything pauses and you're just picking new weapons all the time.
Luckily, there are a lot of quick menu options, so if you know exactly where the thing is you need, you're good to go. And that's not to say I don't like the weapon system. I actually quite enjoy the weapon system. It forces you to go out and kind of scavenge for new things, and it feeds directly back into getting rewarded for going out and exploring. Also, just to be clear, there aren't really items in the normal Zelda sense. Like, you don't get the boomerang or the hookshot. Most of what you're gonna find falls into the weapons, shield, bow and arrow, and materials category. Unless you're talking about the paraglider or the Sheikah Slate powers. Those kind of fill the role of your basic items. That's not to say that these things aren't in the game either. I'm mainly just mentioning it because it's different. The game is absolutely beautiful though, and for the most part runs well. Though I have been having some pretty serious frame drops in certain areas. One time the game almost even nearly crashed. The game straight up locked up for like 5 seconds, but eventually fixed itself.
I will say that I'm immensely enjoying my time with this game. It's so different than any of the other Zelda games. It can actually be really hard to place because it's so different.
There's just so much you can be doing at any given time. There's always another distraction, another thing. Like the fact that you can go out and tame your own horse. I named my best horse Wubby. He has been my loyal steed since the beginning of the game. On guard, fool!
No! Wubby! Wubby! It's been a long day.
Don't worry, guys. I found a replacement. His name is Wubby too. Or better yet, forget horses. I got myself a deer. I'm basically unstoppable now. Ready? Charge! Uh-oh. Charge again! I didn't know how to end this video, so here's a picture of Link. Doot doot. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Those were some of my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch and all the launch games. I really like the idea of the console. I like the hardware. I really hope that Nintendo supports the crap out of this thing. And Zelda's so good, I'll probably get sucked into that thing for like another 100 hours. But that's gonna be it for me this week. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe and like the video. Also, let me know in the comments section down below if you got a Switch already or you're planning on getting one. What are your thoughts on the whole situation? But that's it for me. Until the next time, stay hammy.